Hi, it's Lynn from LynnieCDesigns. Thank you for joining me today. I am going to recreate these cards using a stamp set which I must admit, I haven't really used very much. It's Sweet as a Peach. It did come as a bundle with a die set, but these have sold out. This is retiring at the end of this month, so you can get it. It's only £13.60 at the moment in the UK, and there'll be a link to my shop. So if you like this, I'd head over to the store and get it. It's got some really lovely images. Obviously, it's peaches, so you've got these, but actually that could be an apple. But I'm using the leaves and the flowers on my card today, and this is kind of you get two cards. I'm going to stamp a circle with these, and then you'll get two cards out of this. So this is the very plain one. It's just simple stamping, and you've got the birthday banner there using the colours. So it's Granny Apple Green, So Saffron, and Bumblebee, which is also going to be retiring, and I'm quite sad about that. And some Gilded Gems, they're going as well. So I'm kind of using up some of my favourite products before they go. This is the second one that I've made out of this, and it is a slightly stepped up version. You've got some ribbon and you've got some little die cut elements as well. So let's just get in. I'll show you what I'm using. And then right at the very end, I'm going to share some cards, a card that I created that gave me this kind of design for a challenge. And I'm going to do a stepped up version, which I'm going to enter into the Global Design Project Challenge this week, which is all about flowers. So this is perfect. So let's just pop this to one side and get the cardstock that I'm using. So I've got two thick basic white bases. That's from one sheet of A4 cut in half and scored at 10.5 centimeters. And then I've got a piece of basic white, which is what I'm going to be doing my stamping on. And this measures 14.5 by 20.4 centimeters, so that I can cut this in half for one of the bases and then trim it down a little bit further. This is a piece of Bumblebee, and this is 10.2 by 14.5 centimeters. And then I've got some scraps, Granny Apple Green and So Saffron, for the sentiment strips. And the other thing I've told you, I used the Gilded Gems, so I'm going to use those, sadly retiring. And this beautiful ribbon, this is the Fine Art ribbon, which is so pretty. It's got flecks of gold in it, and I'm going to use that, which is really pretty. So let's just get those bases out of the way. And as a guide, you don't have to do this if you're confident, but an easy way is to just pop that in the center. You can do it visually. And I'm just going to draw around the edge, draw around the inside, just to give me a circle to work with. So I've got my three colours, Granny Apple Green, So Saffron and Bumblebee. And I was going to do this using the Stamparatus, doing the stepped up version, and using the Stamparatus to do, created a template, and I'm just going to use that, but actually, as the dies aren't there, we'll recreate this simple stamping version. So I've got these mounted on blocks. I'm just going to make sure that all of that stamp is on the block. There we go. And I'm just going to stamp these leaves round in a circle. So I'm going to start here at the bottom. And I'm going to touch the bottom of the stem near enough. Didn't want to get my head in camera. Just connecting this wreath on the brain. This week created a card for a UK challenge, Stampin' Up demonstrator challenge. Let's pop that there. And there's my wreath. Excuse me. Still got remnants of the lurgy. And then this stamp, these stamps fit in the gaps. So I'm just going to work out where they go. Get those positioned correctly and stamp it down. Oh, in the wrong ink. Get that green out of the way. And the beauty with photopolymer is you can see through the stamps. Try and get those in the right position. Just keep going. I find it easier to move the card around as I'm going. And we'll rub out that pencil mark once we've done the stamping. Lovely. And then I'm going to use the darker bumblebee for the circle for the inside of those flowers. Let's get that out of the way. So yes, this is an exciting time of year for demonstrators because there's lots of new goodies to play with, but actually it's a lovely time. It kind of makes you look at the stamps you've got, and just reassess them a little bit. So, and then I'm going to come in with the little 3 flowers here, and I'm just going to fill in, dot them around, some on the inside as well. You can go a bit mad with them. Some there. There we go. So I'm going to rub this pencil mark off. Lovely. And then I'm going to get my trimmer out. And I'll keep one of these as simple stamping. So I want to cut this down to 10.2 centimeters, one of them, and that is your card base there. Nice and simple. And then this one, because this is going to be matted on a layer, we need to cut it down to 14.2. I'll trim a little bit off there. And then 9.9, so we'll trim a little bit off there. But actually what I'm going to do with this one is I'm also going to emboss it. So this is the next level up. And I'm going to emboss that with the bulk 3D embossing folder, so I'll be back. Get a bit of extra texture on there. So pop that in there and then run that through. Changing it up a little bit more, so that is beautiful, lovely bit of texture on there, so that's going to go on there. I in advance stamped and then cut some of these extras of these flowers. And I'm going to just pop, let me put, so I've got those for there. Put my inks away. I've got some heat embossing to do. Let's just get thinking about it. We'll get Bumblebee. Stamp that down. Trim that out. Use my trimmer just because it gets a straighter line. I can get a bit wobbly with my scissors. I need those scraps of card, so how did I do this? Oh, that one. Cut that too low, haven't I? There we go. Cut that at the same angle. You can trim that down there. I'm not explaining this. My brain still is in a bit of a fog, I have to say. Let's have a look, see if this is working. So I want all of those angles to line up. Let's trim that down a little bit. Oh, sorry. The frizzy hair, I think, got in the way there. That on the yellow, on the So Saffron. I'm going to just trim it up. I'll have to trim that up. So we want a little bit at the top as well. So we're going to trim the bottom off, let that dry. I made a bit of a meal of that. Always the way when on camera. That's it. Trim that off. And just to make sure that is all working. Oh, no. 3 layers of card. Let's have a look. Use the scissors, snip those off, that's better. And then that one is for the simple one, and that can just go. I'm just gonna glue that down flat. It can go on one of the bases. I think I made that, well, I know I made that look a little bit harder than it actually was. There we go. A very simple stamping version of that one. Use our brown folder to reinforce that score line, and there we have it. I think that's really pretty. You could always use some Wink of Stella. And the little inside of the little flowers, I'm going to use the bumblebee just to dot those in. And actually I think maybe, no, that's fine. That's that one done. And on the stepped up version, I want to heat emboss. So let's have a look. So we want to heat emboss on this one. So I've got my little static bag, which unfortunately we don't stock, but I would highly recommend having one if you're going to do any heat embossing. And I do love this Happy Birthday. So I'm going to do that there. There's bits in there, I really must clean that out. Add it on again. make sure there's enough coverage. Excuse me while I heat emboss. It is still, to me, magic. Really is. I love that. So I'm going to again come in with the pen. I nearly forgot that. And this is the Bumblebee Stamping Right marker. Just give those flowers, not quite as easy when it's embossed, but little mark. Fill those in. Lovely. That's now dried. Trim that down like that. That's already got an angle on it. Let's see if I can trace the same angle. Whether this is going to work or not. Snip that like that, and then I just want to lay a bit of ribbon down. So I'm going to add that with dimensionals. Work out where I want that to go. Now that's quite a bit longer, isn't it? Let's have a look. There we go, that's better. Again, I'm not explaining what I'm doing, but I think you get the drift. No. Didn't connect that, so I'm going to try and cover that bit up. So we'll have that up there, and I'm going to use a little bit of tear and tape for the ribbon. I'm going to pop that down there. And I've to trim that up a little bit so that it's at an angle. And I've done it long enough so that it can wrap around the back, which I think will makes it look nice. Helps if you put the glue on the right side, Lynn. My brain is definitely not working today, honestly. Let's get that. So put glue on the right side. You never know once it's in place. That will go over the glue actually. Maybe I should have dimensional that bit. Oh well, never mind. We'll use a bit of glue on the back, covered in hairs and glue. Oh dear. I may be remaking this video. Something tells me. While we're here, use that to stick that on the base. Snip that excess off so that that's better. And then we will add some flowers. So I'm just going to make sure I've got the right size in the right space. Just add those over the top. And I didn't add them because actually it's quite nice to have them overlapping the here. So you can see that I used both sides of this because I used a brown for the center of the flowers and then didn't like it when I first designed this card. So that will go there. And I did use the dies to cut out these flowers, but actually you could do it quite easily by hand. You know, I've got into my fussy cutting, so it's not necessary to have the dies all the time for all of these, especially for sort of flower shapes and whatnot. So that's there. I'm just wondering whether put a flower there. On a dimensional or something. Might do a little one. There we go. And then let's come in with our gems. And let's pop these in a slightly different place, like that. So there we are. And I think the last thing that I did, which you could probably do before you put them together, is I've just tapped my Wink of Stella pen, and it would be hard to pick up on camera, but it gives a nice little shimmer on those. So hopefully that wasn't too painful. I'll check it back, and if I have to, I'll redo it. But this is the card that I did for a challenge, colour challenge. So this was Pear Pizzazz, Pale Papaya and Calypso Coral. So that was really pretty. This is a tall slimline card. So I've used basic pearls on this one. And this is a Stampin' Up version. Again, I've die cut all the leaves. I die cut all these tiny little flowers, and it was quite a labour of love, but I'll put pictures and instructions for these over on my blog, and there'll be links below. If you're not already a subscriber, then please think about hitting that button and the little bell so that you get notified every week when I post a video. And thank you for bearing with me. See you again soon. Bye for now.